Hi Aquarius, welcome to your end of March 2019 tarot update. It's Rena here. I could have sworn I did your video already, but I don't have the other memory cards, so I guess it was meant to be if the case. So that's possible I didn't do it. But this is the real reading, I guess, right? So I'm using the Morgan Gur deck for this. Wow, this is really a wonderful bunch of cards here. All minor arcana, but very nice cards nonetheless. So, the heart of the matter is the Ace of Cups. This could be a new love relationship coming into your life. And this can also be maybe like a new job offer that's from the heart. Maybe it's a soul, even something that you start, a soulpreneur. Or like you're doing an entrepreneurial type of, creating your own business that has to do with some kind of spiritual concept or healing, healing in general. This could be, anything along those lines, a new relationship that is very spiritual, where you really feel like you're connecting at a deep level. And that could be a possibility as well. And let's keep going here. In the past position, we have the 10 of Wands, and you may have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears if this is your own business into launching this. And, Mercury retrograde ends on the 28th. So if you are going to launch, and who knows, maybe you're not even launching until April or something like that. But the other thing, too, is that if this is a relationship that is coming in, that's a new one, the 10 of Wands may be that in the past you were really working hard on another relationship that it probably was like one-sided. So you were doing the heavy lifting in the relationship, and this is like a whole new ball game. And the same thing with the job situation. You may have been working a regular job and maybe working overtime. And there's something to me that feels aligned about this, because with cups, we're talking about that, the water energy, the spiritual. And when things are coming from a spiritual place, to me, it flows. The water flows, right? There's not that sense of resistance. Sometimes when people are doing something for the money or because they're physically attracted to somebody, it's like, it might be like an uphill battle, because it's almost like you're trying to get something from somebody. When you love somebody, and it's like on the soul level, it's not even something that you're asking in return. You're just offering it to that person. And that's what this card could represent. I love the depiction of the Ace of Cups in this deck. It's one of my favorites. The higher message is represented by the Queen of Swords. And as the higher message, this could be, you are swords, Aquarius. But the Queen is representing that feminine, that yin side of things. And so it's kind of like being able to keep your head, even if you are head over heels in love with somebody, but being able to keep that sense of perspective. And yet at the same time, not being too detached. The Queen is still going to have that emotion present. if I had gotten the King of Swords, then I would warn you and say, uh-oh, you might be too detached, and that might affect the relationship, especially in the initial stages, because that's when we are kind of bonding with another person. And if one person's very like aloof, even though they may like the person and spend time, but if they have that aloof quality, which Aquarius can have, the other person may feel like you don't really like them that much as they like you or something, and they might get the wrong idea. But I think that it's almost like a balance where you're able to put your feelings in proper perspective and not go hog wild, but by the same token, not try to protect yourself by being overly analytical and kind of shutting out your feelings, which maybe you've done in the past. What crosses you is the Three of Cups. Watch out for any outside people, whether it's on your end of things, or I would think it would be more on your end of things, because you can't really control the other party. But if you're somebody who has a circle of friends, now Aquarians usually do have a very vigorous social life, you may be in a circle of friends where you're the only one who is, finding this amazing romance, and the rest of them are still looking. And this would be especially if you're in your 20s and you're still in that stage where you're trying to find out who you are, and it's not, most people haven't settled down yet. Or if you're older, perhaps, and your friends are married and they are kind of bitter, or, maybe they have kids and they're married and they feel like their relationships aren't really working out that well. And you're like telling them about this amazing person you've met, and they might say something a little bit, how can I put it, veiled. Maybe like a little bit negative, but have it veiled like, oh, are you sure that you know him very well? Have you checked him out online to make sure he is who he says? Just planting doubt in your head, but acting like they're really concerned. Aquarius is a very intuitive sign, so I think that you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to read through that if you do get some of that. And I just want to tell you that it doesn't mean that these are bad people, but they may not be supportive of you. They may have a hard time being happy for you if they are not happy in their life. And so you have to be careful that you're not influenced by some of these little remarks. Now, the other thing too is making sure that the other person is not too much of a partier, because I could see that the Three of Cups could be somebody who, if you meet them, let's say you meet somebody in a bar, and then the whole relationship centers around, going out all the time, and it always involves drinking, and you begin, like, even if you're not a big drinker, you realize that this person is, drinking a lot more than you thought they did. And then by that time, you might be head over heels in love with them. So obviously that's not going to be for everybody, but if that's true, just keep your eyes open for their behavior as time goes on. Because you may feel like a very strong emotional bond with this person, but there might still be something that they need to take care of in order to really be present in the relationship with you. What is coming in, or I like to say advice now instead of what's going to happen. And this is the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory. So it's a very positive card. I would say that if you're the type of person, Aquarius, where you have a tendency to question love, And this would be especially if your moon sign is Scorpio or Virgo, I don't know, Pisces, where you have, maybe you've been hurt before, maybe you've got commitment issues, or not commitment, but trust issues, and you're always looking for signs that this person isn't on the up and up. And I'm talking about people with the moon in Scorpio, specifically, and you may have inner planets in Pisces, where there can be this sense of a lot of vulnerability and uber sensitivity. If you're one of these types of people, don't treat the relationship like waiting for the other shoe to drop, or thinking that it's only a matter of time. In other words, it's too good to be true, because you could sabotage the best thing that ever happened to you because of your own fears. They call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is one of the reasons why I'm not really that impressed by predictions, because it really doesn't matter. Even if a psychic can predict that you meet somebody and you really meet that person, can you keep that person? Can you not drive that person away with your insecurities? That's really the true test. Not just, are you going to meet somebody? Same with, you're going to get hired at a new job. But are you going to keep that job? Are you going to show up on time? Are you going to do your work? Are you going to do your work with competence? So it always boils down to you and your actions, ultimately. Regardless if somebody's telling you a prediction or not, there still is input that you have to give to life, Oh, I looked at that card. And then the outcome, I love this card. Ace of Wands, the card of new beginnings in a passionate way. So you have two aces here. It's funny, I happen to see another, I don't know what she is. She might be like kind of more of a psychic, but I think she reads cards or something. And I just happened to see the title, and it was for Aquarius, and it might have been for April, I'm not sure, but it said new beginnings. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting, because you don't have your solar return right now. You don't have a new moon in your sign. So I was thinking, boy, that's interesting. And here I get the same thing. But the thing is, we have two aces here. There's a new beginning in an emotional sense, like a new lease on life emotionally, and a new passion in your life. And so we go from the upper left-hand corner of the Ten of Wands of feeling like you're kind of laboring over something, that's what I say about resistance, of trying too hard to make something happen. Abraham Hicks calls it going upstream, where you might be really doing a lot of work, but it's almost like slogging through mud or something, where are you really progressing, or are you just exerting a lot of effort? Are you getting something back for the effort? And then the Ace of Wands is like a green light all the way. And the beginnings, this could be with a Leo, which is your opposite sign, because the Six of Wands, I think, is connected to Leo. So if this is a personal relationship, maybe it's that specific sign. And maybe there's a timing issue where everything starts to gel around the time of the new moon in Aries, which is happening on April 5th, okay? So that might be what is also indicated with that Ace of Wands card. Okay, Aquarius, that's what I have for you. If you'd like something more personally tailored to your life, I do most of my readings using the natal chart, and I have a list of my offerings online, and the link is below. Take care. Bye.